Good evening and welcome to Beyond the Front Page, a show brought to you by CUNY Community College. That's shown on ARMA, the Auburn Regional Media Access, as well as Spectrum, Verizon Fios, as well as heard on WIN 89.1, the college's radio station. I'm your host, Guy Cosentino. Well, Election Day is just 36 days away if you are counting, and who isn't at this point. It has been a whirlwind campaign so far. And we know that it will go down in the history books. Maybe no more so than having a female vice president heading the ticket of one of the major parties. Yet the issue of gender equality in local, state, or national representation falls far short of the 50% that many have as a goal, 100 years or more than that, after the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920. One organization that has been trying to change that, especially laying the groundwork and the seeds early on, is a group that's in its 6th year, First Amendment, First Vote, founded by former Mayor, Auburn Mayor Melina Carnicelli. The group seeks to, quote, a pathway to government leadership for teen girls, end quote. We're delighted to have in the studio two members of First Amendment, First Vote. We had hoped Mayor Carnicelli was going to be here, but the lead mentor for the program, Jeannette Oliver-Carr, is here, who I've known for a very, very long time, and Skaneateles student Millie Wu. So delighted to have you both here to talk about the program and not necessarily about elections, but about campaigns and whatnot.
Oh, thank you.
So glad to have you here. So for those who may not know, I know you 6 years for a not-for-profit is still infancy.
Yes.
So for those who may not know what First Amendment First Vote is, what is it?
First Amendment First Vote was started in 2017 as a way to encourage young women to get more involved in their civic duty, including governments. There's a goal to promote gender parity and within Congress, within all of the offices. And the best way to do it is to reach out to young women and introduce them to ways that they can get involved.
And how do you do that?
Well, we have multiple schools that we go to. Melina is the main person. She's the spokesperson. And she has done an awful lot of legwork, and so has Dr. Karen King in the Buffalo area, getting schools involved. So they call superintendents, they reach out to teachers and principals and see if they're interested in the program. And we have a mentor for each school. And you have the Central New York area, you have the Buffalo area, Rochester area. So we're in multiple areas throughout the state. And as the lead mentor, my job is to connect with the mentors. And they reach out to young women in their school, high school age. The goal is to get about 6 students and that may be interested in politics. And if they are interested, then this is the perfect avenue for them to move forward. And Millie was actually one of those students a couple years ago at Skaneateles, where your teacher, Mrs. Warren, she came out, reached out to you, and they have a conference in October where we work through different programs, learning how to create an action plan and work with others and how to approach the school board to put this action plan in place in the school community. And then they present that action plan at at the summit in March. So all of the schools, you have over 150 girls meet in March, and we're in one facility, and it's amazing. And they present the action plans, their failures, the trials and tribulations of putting an action plan in place. And they also have a, they also have a simulation, a political simulation where they are running for office. And each student, they're mixed up from other schools, so it's a great opportunity to meet other young women and see what their interests are. But we mix them up, and they have to put together a campaign. And they simulate a campaign, and then we have the voting take place to see who had the best campaign.
So, well, first of all, I want to ask you a quick question on this. How long have you been doing this for?
So I've been part of First Amendment First Vote since my sophomore year of high school.
So you've done both the October and the spring program as well. So how many school districts would you say are involved at this particular stage?
Oh my goodness. I know we have 6 different regions. In Central New York alone, there are about 5.
So obviously we have Auburn.
Yes, Auburn.
Skaneateles.
Skaneateles, Then we have Union Springs, Southern Cuga, Seneca Falls, Waterloo. So that area. Then we have Syracuse area schools.
You better have Seneca Falls.
Well, yeah. We have Syracuse area schools, and then Baldwinsville's part of that as well. Buffalo area schools, Rochester area, and then we did at one point, we were working with Corning and Elmira and Horseheads. So Albany area, they were connected with us too at certain points.
So at Skaneateles, how many of your fellow students are involved?
So there's around 6 to 5 students are involved in this every year. So we try to like send out applications to all of the student population to fill out, and then towards the end we start like picking people.
Oh, so you choose who?
Yes.
Okay, so your goal is a goal of a specific size group.
Usually 5 to 6
Is that
students.
what is it?
Yeah.
Auburn High School as well?
Yes.
And are they mainly sophomore, juniors, and seniors, or are they anywhere freshmen on?
They're mostly sophomores or juniors. I had a unique situation where my seniors, that when they started as sophomores, and they were amazing young women, and they just pushed through each year where they were reaching out to other students to get them to join. And right now, we've got kind of 2 different things going on. We have the girls that are going to go to the conference and the summit, but then we have our seniors that are, they brought more friends in, and they're promoting voter registration in the high school next week. So they've already met twice to develop a plan on how to get people to register to vote. Because in New York State, you can register to vote at the age of 16. So they're trying to encourage people to register to vote. So we have multiple things going on at the high school, Auburn High.
Like I said, 36 more days. So are you registered to vote?
I am.
Can you vote this year?
Yes, I can.
You can. Is this your first time voting?
Yes.
Okay. Look at the smile on
Very
just that alone.
exciting, yes.
So let's talk about the conference, and then the conference is first, then the summit.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what happens. Has the conference occurred for October yet?
No, not yet.
When is that?
October 30th.
Okay.
For Central New York.
Okay, and what's going on at the what is your role at the conference this year?
So as a student who's a part of this conference, so usually for the schools around my area, we attend the conference near Seneca Falls. So a bunch of other schools plus Skaneateles, we all like gather there, and then there we like meet a bunch of women in positions with like they're in high positions in their field. So we network with them, we ask them any questions that we have. And personally, that's my favorite aspect of First Amendment, First Vote, just networking with all these women in power. And alongside with that, we meet with like other girls from other schools, and we talk about their ideas and such and such. And then from there, Melina, we just start implementing what our like action plan would start being, and we would start brainstorming what it would be.
An action plan
Yes.
for what?
An action plan for creating some kind of change in your school.
So last year, what was your change, the change you wanted to accomplish in your school?
So last year at Skaneateles, we promoted a voter registration drive where we would send out voter ballots for my class, because when you're 16 and older, you can start registered to vote. So for my junior class, when I was a junior last year, we sent out a bunch of voter ballots for a lot of juniors to fill out. And a result that we saw within our voter registration drive was that a lot of the juniors were already signed up to vote. To sign up for voter registration, because usually when you get your permit, there's like an option where you can sign off to register yourself as a voter. So that was one of our many results from the voter registration drive.
We'll come back to the summit in a minute. A couple quick questions about the organization. So 501c3. How large a budget do you have?
I'm not sure about
That's okay.
that one.
But you have some significant funders that
Yes.
people will know about: the Allen Family Foundation, Generations Bank, others that are out there.
Donations, just other donations off of our website.
And how does somebody donate to you if they believe in the mission?
They can go to our website, First Amendment, First Vote, and there is a tab where if you'd like to donate, you can donate. Also on that website, we have informative videos dealing with the history of Central New York, and they are amazing videos that we like to show our students and have it part of the program on the side. So when I'm at school with my students that I've chosen, we'll do a little research, a little historical research on how we came to where we are today as women. And after, with those videos, Melina's one of the narrators of the videos, and she had former students come in and also give little messages and interviews throughout the video. So they're really informative videos on the history of the area. And we do little lessons with those also.
So what is the role of a lead mentor? What is your job?
My job is simply to be the liaison, to connect with the other mentor teachers if they have any questions, give them some ideas.
And you're all volunteers?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just to give them ideas on how to get more students and really just promote the program.
And you do have a full-time job?
I do have a full-time job.
What
yes.
do you do?
I am a social studies teacher at Auburn High School.
And you teach 10th grade history?
Yes, 10th grade global studies. I also teach AP World History, which is the difficult history class for 10th graders.
Why is it the difficult one?
Because it is a bear of a test in May that these students have to take. It's a timed test. It includes a lot of writing, and these kids have to be able to read documents quickly and understand what the question is actually asking them. So
I had the great Mr. Jarrow for...
And he was great, yes.
So in that you also do, though, you have a separate course, you have a women's studies course.
Yes.
And when is that given?
So that's a semester course, so it's a
Okay.
half-year course, and it's a half credit for social studies. Usually it's in the fall. It depends, it varies from year to year.
And what do you cover in that?
So the way the program is I had a group of students come to me 7 years ago, and they wanted to have a women's studies course because they felt like they didn't learn enough about women in history classes. And I looked at them and I said, okay, well, I am a history teacher, so there's a little bit of history involved. So a semester is divided by 3 marking periods. So the first marking period, we dig down into the history. And that includes watching documentaries and reading various articles pertaining to women's studies in history throughout the world and in the United States. And then the second semester, that's when we start to look into articles, and the students come up with topics they're interested in. And I usually have the help of our media specialist, Beth Cuddy. She usually helps me out and finds articles that the students can read and learn more about.
World of a former reporter,
yes.
Absolutely.
And then the third semester is their final project, and they develop it. So this is a student-driven course where they get a little bit from me, and then they drive what they want to learn for the rest of the year. It's
obviously recognized by the state of New York because it's a credit
yes.
course.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people are usually in a given semester?
It varies, but usually 12 to 18 students, which is perfect because this is a discussion class. It is all about discussion. And today we had Dr. Renee Burgess from Auburn Enlarged City School District come in, and even Dr. Slavic, our superintendent, they came in today.
Super, okay.
Yeah, they came in today to talk to the students.
So in doing that, is it only females in the class, or?
Nope, anyone, it's just seniors only. And we like seniors, I like seniors because they're at a different level of maturity. They are young adults, they are adults.
So I want to ask a question on First Amendment first vote. Are males in the program or just females?
Just females.
Just female, okay. So I talked about parity. We all know that there's a woman at the top of the ticket for the Democratic Party, and that is historic in itself because she's a sitting vice president. But when it comes to representative, and I know there was an email burst about a week ago
right.
that you all put out and said that while it's great at the top of the ticket, if you keep going down the ticket, that is not the case.
Correct.
Okay. So why do you think that is the case, that we do not have women in a parity issue of 50-50 based on the population?
What do you think, Millie?
Okay, tough question. It's just the way that society has been built for a long time, and it's just the mindset that it's been implemented within everyone.
Do you think it's tougher for women to run for office?
I think so, yeah.
At my age, I do. I have 3 children, I'm working. I look at some of our female officials that are running for office. I think I'm amazed with them, and I'm inspired by them because It's a lot of work, and we had Dr. Rhoda Overstreet in our Women's Studies class, and she talked to us about how much work it is to run for office. You know, you need the funding, you need to walk the beat, and you need to...
And she's in one of the rare exceptions
Yes.
where there's a majority of women on
Yes.
the Auburn City Council. But if you go to the
That's
county...
because Auburn is amazing, and everyone should come to Auburn.
We are the center of the universe, but we'll
Yes.
get to that at a later date. So, I know you went to Auburn schools at one point, so you just got to just go along, all right, on this one. But they do face challenges. So how does First Amendment, First Vote want to change that dynamic?
First Amendment First Vote is really about giving students, young women, the tools on how to get there.
Okay.
And by creating showing them how to create an action plan, we are showing them how to become change makers. So just giving them the small steps to become a change maker, knowing how to begin. You know, the first step to the action plan is to ask a question. Like, ask, what does your community need? Ask other people, listen to other people and what they have to say. That's a crucial component of the action plan. And also to do your research and see what is truly needed in the whole program.
But you're not also saying just become elected officials. You're looking at
Everything.
Government leaders.
Yes.
They could be city managers, could be
Yes.
department heads of that nature, correct?
Yes, and in our October conference, Millie was mentioning how we have different people from elected positions or people that work in government positions. They come and they speak to, we have roundtable sessions where they sit and they speak to our young women and talk to them about what role they play. So even though they may not be an elected official, we have a lot of women surrounding those elected officials.
Do you endorse candidates?
No, we are nonpartisan.
Okay, so so it doesn't matter. You could, but do you support women candidates? Let me rephrase that. Or do
We
you just
do.
stay?
We do.
Okay, so it
Yes.
doesn't matter what party they are.
Correct.
Okay, so I want to talk about you, if you don't mind, for a few minutes. So, how did you get involved overall? What struck you as a sophomore? You got a busy life at that point. You're hoping to drive at some point.
Yeah.
Why do this?
So initially I joined First Amendment First Votes through my Women's Rights Club. So I started Women's Rights Club as a freshman, and then through my sophomore year, my mentor, Mrs. Kramerson, she introduced me to First Amendment First Vote. And initially I just thought of it as another checklist off for my extracurricular list, but you know,
Looking towards that college resume.
Yes.
Okay.
So
That's okay.
yeah. So when I attended the summit and everything, I realized it was just another bigger opportunity for me to network with other individuals and people who I really aspired to be, and who we all shared a similar passion for women's rights and putting everyone in positions of power, particularly like women.
Do you want to run for office?
No, I don't think I'd be a very nice political candidate, but
Why not?
I guess it's just the double standards to it and just the pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were a senior. So at some point you're going to leave Skaneateles.
Yes.
Next June you're going to jump into the lake. And what are you going to do after that?
After that, I'm planning to attend a four-year college and hopefully pursue a degree in political science.
Okay. So what do you want to use the degree for then?
So I'm planning on becoming some type of lawyer. I'm not exactly sure what specific field yet, but I'm very interested in using my political science degree to attend law school after.
And you have a side business now.
Yes.
So you're active. What do you do now?
So for my side business?
Yes.
Yes. So my side business is called Truly Crochets, where during my quarantine, during COVID-19, I just started crocheting. I looked at YouTube videos, and then I really got into crocheting, and then particularly crocheting bouquets, like flower bouquets. So what Truly Crochets is all about, we would sell my crochet products to my community in Skaneateles, and all of the profit that I make from it is donated towards any type of local nonprofit.
And have you worked on any campaigns yet?
No, not yet.
Do you have an interest in doing that?
A little, yes.
Okay. Because this is the perfect time.
Yeah.
If there's any time on there. Is there a school that you're looking at? Is there any particular school you're focused
Yeah.
on for next year?
I'm very interested in Cornell's Industrial Labor Relations School, especially because industrial labor relations is a major that I'm very interested in. Everyone who gets into that school is designated that major, and I know everyone who gets into that school, they lead a very successful path towards becoming a lawyer.
So let's jump to the summit. So that's the May event. So what's
March.
the March event?
Yes.
What's the March event?
So we bring all the schools together. And this past year we stayed in Auburn at the Hilton. And the girls spend the night. They come in and again, they have the round tables where they meet with more elected officials from all over the place, from Buffalo, from Rochester, everywhere. And they get to hear what they have to say, what they've endured running for elected office, or what they've experienced working in an elected office. They also, the girls also have a project where it's a simulation campaign. And what they do is they're divided up and they're thrown with everyone in that room. So there's over 150 students there. And so you don't know who you're going to be stuck with. So you have to learn how to collaborate. You have to learn how to listen and speak with other students.
So is it a 2-day conference?
It's a 2-day conference, yes. And they come up, they're given a problem, and they have to create a campaign around solving that problem.
Oh, so it's not running for office necessarily.
It is. You run for office. Like you have to give your little speeches. So there's like a culmination of things.
What was your problem last year?
So our problem last year, if I can recall correctly, it was a town where a hotel was being threatened to get destroyed in place of a park or like a parks and recreation system, and then we had to create a solution or problem to tackle that, and then whoever our spokesperson would be the representative running for office.
And did your team win?
No.
Okay. Listen, there has to be winners and losers, and the bigger issues, there should be competitive is the bigger issue. Will they pick the simulations at this conference, at this month, and work on them through the?
No,
you get
it's
it when you
right
show
on the
up.
spot. Yes,
Okay.
It's right on the spot, and then afterwards we spend a majority of the time. The students present their action plans and what they did for their community. And they have to create a quick little slideshow and share with all of the other students what their project was and whether or not it worked or if it failed.
And you've been with this organization since the start,
Yes.
roughly? So how did you why do it?
Why not?
Well, no, because the normal answer is Melina Carnicelli asked you to do this, and you're not going to say no.
Well, Melina came to me because I had her granddaughter as a student,
Okay.
and I grew up around the corner from Melina, so, and she was Auburn's
First mayor.
first mayor, female.
Member of City Council?
Yes, and she's an inspiration. And when you sit with her, she has so much energy that why wouldn't you want to be a part of this?
So do you have an idea in the 6 years of how many students you have worked with over
Oh my
either
goodness.
locally or the more broad area?
Well, at least 1,000, because the
Okay.
past 2 years there were 150 students. The year before, well, then we had it with COVID. We couldn't have our summits, but we still met through Zooms, and I'd say close to 1,000.
How do you measure success in the long run for First Amendment, first vote?
When I get a text from former members that are in college, and they're texting me and telling me how they were able to get their whole dorm floor to watch the presidential debate.
Because at this point, while she's still in high school, some of your students may just be on the cusp of graduating college.
Yes.
Some might have.
My first group, they are seniors in college.
Seniors in college.
Yes.
And then, do you have anything planned? I know you have the conference this month. Do you have any election-related events in the next 36 days planned?
Within the
For the
organization or within school?
Either one.
Well, at school, I have a group of students that are promoting voter registration next week. We've met twice already where, we're discussing how we're going to try and put that out there. And you even have students still ask, why should I register? Why do I need to vote? So those are still questions that a lot of people have. And the students that I have promoting voter registration, they're creating posters to encourage people to register to vote.
Is there an active effort in Skaneateles to get people to vote? I know you said you've done some draw.
Currently, there is no active because we did run one last year. So,
All right. Well, we want to thank you both. 30 minutes goes very, very quickly.
It does.
But we want to thank lead mentor for First Amendment First Vote, Jeannette Oliver-Carr, who is with the Auburn School District, but has also been with First Amendment for the last 6 years since its creation. And then Millie Wu, who is a senior at Skaneateles, who is going to go off to college next year, and we expect to hear great things about you.
And Millie also serves on the board for First Amendment First Vote.
Yes.
Oh,
She
so
has
there
a leadership position
Okay,
too.
so
yes.
students are on the board as
Yes.
well. How large is the board?
just around four students on the board of
Students on
directors.
there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you both. I'm sorry Mayor Carnicelli could not be with us today, but you've been delightful, and we'd love to have you back to give an update when you get them out of college.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Good luck to you as
Thank
well.
you.
I want to thank both of our guests right now, but we'll be back on Thursday when we'll have Auburn Mayor Jimmy Giannantino. He is in the minority on this issue of gender equality at City Hall for a City Hall update. We'll also have both Sheriff Brian Skank as well as Auburn Police Chief Jimmy Sladen in to talk about area law enforcement, especially with safety concerns in school. We also have planned over the next several weeks forums for candidates. We start on Thursday, October 17th with the candidates for the 48th Senate District, which is Rachel May, who's the incumbent, running against Caleb Slater, who is a Cayuga alumni. And then we'll have the candidates for the 126th Assembly District, which includes Cayuga County, parts of Cayuga County, with Assemblyman John Lamondez and his challenger Ian Phillips, and that will be on Tuesday, October 22nd. We'll also have the candidates for the new Cayuga County Family Judgeship. Mr. Bushman and Ms. Garland will be here to talk about their qualifications next Thursday on October 10th. And then we have an interview with Congressman Brandon Williams on Thursday, October 24th. As per our rules, we invite both candidates to participate in a forum. If one accepts and the other does not, the person who accepts gets an hour one-on-one interview. Senator John Mannion has not agreed to any of the dates that we've provided. He still can do that, but we will have Brandon Williams here in about 3 weeks. As past practice, the Citizens political reporter and public policy reporter, Robert Harding, will be asking questions, and I will be moderating. If you'd like to send us your ideas for future guests, you can do so at cozguitho@aol.com. I'm Guy Cosentino for Cayuga Community College. We want to thank you for watching. Have a good night. Have a great evening and tomorrow, and we'll see you back here in the studio on Thursday.